Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Škoda T56, the Tier 8 Premium Czechoslovakian heavy tank, located on the north spawn of Siegfried line, and this one is under the command of Andromeda, of No Retreat, No Surrender. Well, I had to restart the video because, yep, sound bug is still there. Still not been fixed by Wargaming. The Škoda T56, yes, you either got it by buying it or by earning it through the marathon, and Andromeda's got his, and it's a two-shot autoloader with a 13cm gun, which is capable of doing 460 output, and so it can generate 920 hit points of damage in a matter of seconds. In fact, 3.5 seconds, because that's how long it takes intra-clip to reload. So if you fire your first shot off, then 3.5 seconds later the enemy loses another 460 hit points if you get an average roll. Okay, he's moved into the Siegfried line town, and from this position he has got shots on the enemy. I'm pretty sure he was seen by that T-34-85M. He's in a tier 8 game with tier 6 tanks in it. Unfortunately, that does mean that some of the enemy tanks are going to be tier 8. Didn't get any damage with the first shot, but he definitely got a high roll with the second one. Now the reload by the book is 25.97. He's got 23.44. Okay, just poking out to have a look at that T-34. Yep, it's the tier 8 T-34, the American one with the 120mm gun. He's being very cautious, not wanting to move out, because he knows these Škodas are quite dangerous. In fact, this is the first of a double replay featuring the Škoda T56. Lots of people playing them because they obviously need to get their crews up to speed so they can crew all the Škodas and of course the other tanks, the TNHs, that they're actually grinding at the moment. I didn't take part in the marathon. Well, yeah, don't feel sorry for me, because I actually was very busy doing videos. Oh, he got a fire! Will he get the kill? Yes, he did! So he's got a kill, his first kill in this game, but he also collected a huge amount of damage from that. 467 from the shot and 355 from the fire afterwards. So I think you can gather that that's over 800 hit points of damage. In fact, it's 872. Or is it? No, it's not 872. What am I saying? 5 onto that. 817. Quick math in my head. Yes, it's not common core for me. Was it 27? 22. 822. No, I don't use common core. Oh dear. Hello, Mr. IS. You're about to get a nasty shot. Oh, didn't go in. But this one will. And that one's a big hit. Go for the RAM. Try and take a bit more hit points off him, plus of course stay close to him, which means he's probably not going to be focused on Andromeda, although Andromeda took a round from his teammate there in the T-34-85, and he's now in reload. It's showing a green, but he's actually no shots in the breach. He needs to get a reload in to deal with that. Emil 1 goes past the gap. There's no enemy tanks there. Okay, we've got a T-34-85 and an Emil. Which does he go to first? Oh, took a hit. He's going after the Emil, which means he's going to be presenting his rear to the enemy. He gets his first shot in. Now get behind the Emil. And, well, the Emil's gone down, but he's been ammo-racked and he's been hit by the Su-8 and the T-34-85M. Need to get behind cover. That T-34 is just going to keep pumping rounds in until you get your reload in. Thankfully, we've now got this SU-152 and Andromeda's almost loaded. We've lost the SU-152. This guy has actually managed to get a freebie by getting another kill, but now he's about to die. Don't auto-aim, just hit the turret. You'll go straight through. Yep, got him. Whew, that was a bit hectic. So he's got 3 kills now, but he's lost a huge amount of hit points. When you've got 2 tanks like that, one side and one the other, I think the idea is actually to get behind one of the enemy tanks concerned so that the other one can't fire at you. We know where the SU-8 is, he's out in the field, and the T-52's out there with him. The enemy's now down by 5 tanks, and it looks like we've got the town area and they're starting to suffer. There's that Super Hellcat right out on the east side. And Andromeda's decided he's going to go after the enemy over here. No, I don't think you can hit him from here. No, I think he didn't see that there was some kind of obstruction blocking. That's better, you can see it now. I think he was actually hitting the bunker that the Striv S1 was hiding behind. But he should be able to hit this guy. He's just the top of the gun showing. But the SU-8 has gone down, so he got the spotting assist. He's loaded, and there's the enemy Hellcat up ahead. Now he is low on hit points. Wasted that one into the bunker. The Hellcat pulls forward, top of the turret showing. He doesn't get the shots in. But there's only 3 enemies remaining now. A Super Hellcat, another Super Hellcat, and a Nashorn. All the guys who are over on the east side of the map. It's just funny how tanks that are on the east side always seem to survive longer than the ones who are on the other side. I found that whenever I played this map and I'm in a tank destroyer. No, you've got to let it dial in. Yeah, that's better. Oh, he ammo-racked him. Set off the ammo rack at the back of the vehicle. There's only 1 remaining. It's another Super Hellcat. I think Andromeda's doing the wise thing actually. Head for the cap to start with. Put some pressure on the guy. Okay, he's locked in. Dialing in. Nice shot! And he gets the kill with the last kill of the game. So let's have a quick look at the end of battle stats. Well, here's the end of battle stats from the first game. It was a second-class tanker for Andromeda in the Škoda T56. In fact, it's the first time he's had a second-class tanker in this vehicle. I think this must be one of the first couple of games that he's played in it. He got a demolition expert because he blew up one of the enemy tanks. In fact, he blew up the Nashorn. And he set fire to the, yes, well, we'll get to that in a sec. Fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. Fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, just 1 short of getting that top gun and 1/3 of the enemy team. Sharpshooter for getting 10 or more consecutive hits on the enemy. Yes, he got nastiness. He set light to the VZ-44-1 and watched him burn up. In fact, that was really good because missed the first shot, but got the second one in, and that set the engine alight, and then he pulled back, and then the guy burned up. So even though he didn't get that first shot in, and it's very key, very important to actually aim that first shot so it does do some damage. He had that problem as well when he went in to try and kill that IS. So he got that kill and got a nastiness medal. He also got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks that damaged him, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He managed to get 7. And on top of all that, he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool and over 1000 XP, or HP rather I should say. His win rate from the game was 5,779, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, there he is, right at the top of the table with 3,970, beating the Emil 1 on the enemy team with 3,565. The third highest damage in the game was the Super Hellcat on his own team, who picked up a Nathan's medal, so he must have killed all of the enemy light tanks in that game, at least 3, and he got 1,491 hit points of damage. And I should actually point out straight away that the M44 picked up a Confederate on our team. The T-34-85M on the enemy team picked up a Lever Slaves medal. And when it came to kills, he's definitely got the top with 5. As I said, 1/3 of the enemy team. 3 kills went to the Super Hellcat, 2 kills went to the AMX-50-100, the KV-85, the Emil 1 and the T-34-85M. And when it came to base XP, he's got that. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,252 base experience points from that one. 1,034 in the M44 and 985 in the Super Chaffee. Just goes to show the standard for getting an ace tanker must be very, very high. I think we actually proved in some of the other games that we've seen on the Škoda T56, the standard is now, I think, about 1,700 XP in order to get an ace tanker. So you really have to do a lot of damage, get a lot of kills, maybe even get a pools medal if you want an ace. But that's because just about everybody's playing it, and they're playing it to a very high standard. So yeah, it's difficult to get an ace. 17 shots fired, 11 direct hits and 10 penetrations. I think he had trouble getting the first shot into the enemy, because quite a few times he actually fired the first shot, didn't get anything, but the second shot he definitely got into target. 3,970 hit points of damage, of which 578 were at more than 300 meters. Again, when that Striv, I think he was hiding right behind the bunker. So when he fired 2 shots in that guy's direction, because obviously you could only see the thing on his head-up display, so on, you know, in front of him on his reticule, but he wasn't actually able to see the actual vehicle itself because it was being spotted by somebody else. And although the outline was there, it's only the front of the vehicle that was actually open, not the rear. So as he auto-aimed onto the target, he wasn't going to get any shots on that guy. 7 hits received, 6 of those penetrated, 1 non-penetration. Yeah, it's only really the turret that's really strong on the Škoda 56. The hull is still fairly weak. And the 1 non-penetration, well, I think that might have been somebody who actually hit the turret instead of actually hitting the... or was it one of our teammates? It may have been the T-34-85M on our own team who actually did the non-pen shot. 4 hits received by way of splash damage as well. 180 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 4 enemy vehicles spotted. 7 enemy vehicles damaged. 5 killed and 86 hit points of damage assistance. Plus he managed to get 8 capture points while he was sitting in the cap before he just killed the Super Hellcat. 111,569 credits on a premium count. After repair and ammunition resupply took away 21,992 credits. If he didn't have a premium account, he would have made a loss. 1,878 XP, 3,756 for completing a mission, 188 for this being a premium vehicle, and took away 5,822 experience points altogether. So he says, nice medal and badges. Yep, I think for a first go, this is not bad. I'm pretty sure this is one of his first few games in the Škoda, because I'm sure he would have had a higher medal after a few games in it. So let's have a look at the second battle. The second replay is on the east spawn of Sand River, and we're still in the Škoda T56. Okay, he's loaded in and he's off. It doesn't have a huge top speed, but then it is a heavy tank, this one. 35 kilometers an hour. Well, I suppose that's acceptable for a heavy tank. If it was over 40 or 50, then I think you'd say, well, it's a heavy tank aping a medium, you might say. It's a pity these tanks never actually got designed because, of course, as you know, Czechoslovakia actually went with the Warsaw Pact designs, or rather the designs that came out of Mother Russia, the Soviet Union, who was basically trying to improve or increase the amount of production that they were getting from their own factories by getting the Czechs and the Hungarians and the Polish to buy their product. But of course the Czechs, the Poles and the Hungarians, well, I don't think the Hungarians so much, but certainly the Poles and the Czechs actually had their own arms industry, and all they did was use the standard designs that the Soviets had come up with. And of course the major factor in their favour, oh, good shot. The major factor in their favour was commonality of design, which meant that you had the same ammo being used by all of the members of the Pact. It's very much the same thing with NATO, actually. There was a kind of standardization on various calibers of ammunition, but that was about it. They did try to use the same tank in NATO in terms of the Germans. Another direct hit on the enemy Škoda. No, the second shot didn't get that one. Of course, they tried to have the European tank project, which of course was won by the Leopard, but of course Britain had our own arms industry, so we were already manufacturing what we considered to be the best tank in Europe, and technically it was the Chieftain, if it was working. If they hadn't put the Leyland engine into it, the multi-fuel engine, then it would have been the best tank around, because it would have been on the move at any one time. But of course, it kept breaking down. When he auto-aimed on, first shot didn't work, second didn't work either. I mean, the Chieftain had fantastic armour, but it just had the worst engine you can imagine. Well, that one was blocked by his tracks. Or was it blocked by the armour on the turret? I think it was actually the armour on the turret. Because if we look at the armour, yeah, we can see those bounced off the front, but the artillery round didn't. And the MX-13 F3 managed to claim 129 hit points. Yes, the Chieftain was still regarded as having some of the best armour, even though it had a really poor engine. And of course, the Leopard was sold to a huge number of countries, including Canada and many others around the world. And in fact, they not only bought the Leopard 1, but they bought the Leopard 2. I suppose you could say that's another Vorsprung durch technique thing. You know, buying the best product because it's German. But of course, it was a German tank with a British gun, the L7A1. Auto aims onto the Tiger, easily penetrates the armor. He's going to go for the second one, and he does get it. Yep, that T29 in the M6. You want to watch out for those. The guy's over to your right. Here he is. Okay, no. Be careful, I go manually. I'm not... yeah, the M6 has managed to hit your gun. You might want to fix the gun. I know he's got a small repair kit though. But they're losing this one quite badly, and oh, the Lanson's managed to get up here, but he does a nice ram as well as a hit. Second shot goes in and he blows up, which means he probably set light to the guy. Yeah, he did. So he's got an arsonist as well. But it looks like the enemy's about to overrun our cap area. So yeah, we've got guys behind us, guys in front of us. The Škoda missed his second shot, but he got one in. Now, T-34. We're not loaded yet. We are now. Oh, we got a fire on that one as well. And he takes him out with the second shot, but you now need to dip down into the dip because that Škoda is just behind. Yep. Don't want him to put 2 rounds into you. You want to make sure that it's the other way round. He's trying to fool the Škoda into thinking he's got 2 rounds loaded, but he hasn't. And the Škoda's backing off because he doesn't want to get hit with 2 rounds. Oh, mama, he gets one in. Go for the second. Yes, he gets the second one in and blocks the shot that comes back. But unfortunately, he's got to deal with 2 tanks now. That Škoda, though, is very low on hit points. And the Tiger, well, he blocks that one by waggling. Always helpful to waggle. Okay, get closer, get closer. That's it. Now do it. Do him. Yeah, he's loaded. Okay, I didn't realise at the time he wasn't quite loaded. Oh! He gets hit from behind by a defender. I didn't see him. I was expecting the Škoda to come around the corner. So unfortunate this. We've got still got 2 tanks in the game, a T-52 and a T-44, but it doesn't look good for them because the enemy is now capping. I think that's the defender. We're seeing on the minimap that the T-52 and the T-44 are doing their best, but they're up against 4 opponents. They're outnumbered 2 to 1. They found the enemy Arty. And there's the M6 as well. Oh, the MX goes down to the T52. We're trying to get shots on that M6. I think they've given up on this because there's two in the cap now, and I'm pretty sure one of those is the Škoda. In fact, it's the Škoda in the Defender. The T52 is trying to get back in time for the cap, but I don't think it matters. There's no way he's going to be able to get back in time. So this game is over. It's going to be a loss. And they've capped out. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was another second-class tanker for Andromeda in the Škoda T56. He did get another arsonist because he set light to an enemy tank, and well, it was lucky that the Lanson did go up when he did, because he had actually fired his second shot in, and he hadn't actually killed the guy with that shot. So if he hadn't have got that one, that fire, then he probably would have suffered a couple of hits from that 105mm gun before the guy died. But yes, he got an arsonist. In fact, I think he got an arson twice, because although not an arsonist twice, he did set fire to two tanks. The T-34-85 did get set alight by the first shot that went in, but the guy had a premium fire extinguisher which went off straight away and put the fire out. He also got a duelist for taking down two tanks who damaged him, a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, a bruise the medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, and yes, again he got another high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. In fact, I think he got more damage in this game than he did in the one that he won. He got a win rate of 6,627, which is higher than the previous game, but sadly it was a defeat. Let's have a look at the team score. 4,814 hit points of damage. I think if we check the previous one, we can see that, yes, 3,970. So you can see he did actually end up with more damage in this game than the previous one, even though it was a loss. The second highest scorer was the T44 in his own team with 3,939, followed by the Lanson C with 3,390. That guy managed to pick up a Confederate. The T52 on our team got an All-X medal. The Defender on the enemy team managed to get a steel wall. When it came to kills, it was the T52 did the best. He got 4 kills. Andromeda managed to get 3, so he's in second place alongside the enemy Škoda T56, who did survive the battle. In fact, he was one of the guys who was capping out. And when it came to XP, we can see that the Lanson C came off better with best with 1,162. The Škoda T56 on the enemy team was all but out of health, managed to get 947. And after that, it was the Defender with 944. He was also the other one capping out. And after that, it was Andromeda. So he was actually in 4th place on XP with 828. Just goes to show that he did try very hard to survive. He was or had dealt with that Tiger. He wanted to get that last kill to kill the Škoda with his second shot, but sadly he just didn't notice the Defender coming up behind him. And how could he notice? Because he was basically being engaged from 2 different directions. He'd already engaged and killed the Lanson and the T-34 from one side. Then he was having to deal with the Tiger 1 and the Škoda from the other side. And of course, he was facing the opposite way. He just couldn't see the Defender sneaking up behind him to take him out. There you go. He was swamped, you could say, with targets trying to take him out. And that's why he got the most damage in the game, because of course he was using that very good 13cm gun, and he just had plenty of tanks to fire at because they were all coming at him to try and take him out. Let's have a look at detail. 15 shots fired, 11 direct hits, 11 penetrations on the enemy. Much better. I mean, the ones that he missed were the ones he was firing long range on auto aim at that AMD 178B. Which of course obviously those ones missed because the vehicle's moving too fast and it was moving about, so best not to use auto aim under those circumstances. Try and manually aim at the enemy because you've got a much better chance of getting a hit. 4,814 hit points of damage, of which 1,667 were at more than 300 meters. 16 hits received from the enemy, 5 penetrations, 10 non-penetrations. So the armor was actually holding up quite well in this game. 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. That was the hit from the AMX 113F3, who managed to get a solid hit right onto the body of the tank, although it didn't do a huge amount of damage because I think it hit the upper plate. That's why he didn't suffer a big loss. 2,300 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, 727 hit points of damage assistance. In this battle he earned 127,188 credits, got 63,594 from personal reserves, and because he got an epic medal, or actually it's a battle hero medal, he got 10,800 for courageous resistance, which made his grand total 201,582 credits. That's a big score, and after repair and ammunition resupply still took away a profit of 118,842 credits, so I can see this tank could be quite a good credit earner. 1,242 XP, 691 for courageous resistance, 193 for this being a premium vehicle, and 1,933 from personal reserves, so a total 4,060 experience points altogether. So 2 interesting battles, and the first one, yes, got the victory and a few missed shots, mainly because obviously he was couldn't see the target or hadn't dialed in fully. In the second game, it was much more difficult because he was basically single-handedly trying to hold back the enemy, because all the tanks that actually went up the riverbed were wiped out, and most of the defenders of the cap area, and he was the only one basically who was holding it all together, whilst the T-44 and the T-52 wandered up to the enemy end. So good fight, but unfortunately he was just asked to do too much and couldn't stop that defender plugging him in the rear. I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, let other people know that we exist, because apparently, according to Awesome Epic guys, they didn't know we existed, even though we got more videos than Jingles, Quickie Baby and Klaus Kellerman put together. Yeah, we've got over 7,500 videos, or I think it's just under 7,500 videos on one channel. And of course, we've got a sister channel called The General, where you can see replays without any commentary whatsoever, but they're really good replays with pools medals or Kolobanovs. So definitely worth checking that channel out. And again, most people don't know it exists, but we're pumping videos in there day and night, which is why I'm not getting a chance to play the game at the moment, because I'm just spending all my time uploading to YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, I've done my job properly, and thank you for watching.